Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. I'm Judy Wasserheit, Chair of the University of Washington's Department of Global Health. Welcome to the 2021 Department of Global Health graduation, our 14th graduation since the department was established. I want to welcome each of you, our global health graduates, and your families, partners, and friends who were there through all of the triumphs and the rough times of the last several years, and especially through the last 18 months. And of course, before that, through all the soul searching and applications that led you to the field of global health and to us here at the University of Washington. Today, we're here to celebrate together. But this celebration is especially poignant because this last year and a half brought so many challenges and losses. And despite all of that, you're here, albeit virtually. You did it, and you're graduating. So before we begin the celebration, let's pause and have a moment of silence, gratitude, and grace, both to acknowledge the devastating impact of the pandemic, especially on our Asian American, Black, and other BIPOC families, friends, and communities, and on those who are closest to us, parents, grandparents, partners, and children, and also to reflect with gratitude on the multiple ways in which so many have given so much and the tremendous progress that we've made in controlling the pandemic. Thank you. This celebration is different from all of the previous years, even last year, when we were struggling with at least 3 intersecting crises: pandemic disease, brutal killings related to the long history of structural racism in our country, and profound and repeated failures of leadership at the national level. At graduation last year, we were just a few months into the pandemic with little understanding of what this year would bring. And this year has been a roller coaster year with gut-wrenching lows and soul-nurturing highs. We've learned so much. This year, we're all Zoom experts. So even though we can't share the joy and exhilaration of this graduation with in-person hugs and high fives, we have learned that the lifeblood of celebrations actually flows through Zoom pretty well. And that the silver lining is that many more family members and friends can share in the celebration than were able to join us in person. Last year, several students asked, how can we possibly celebrate with everything that's going on? This year, several students asked, how can we have a truly exceptional celebration that recognizes the exceptional resilience, perseverance, and accomplishments of this graduating class? We've come a long way in battling the COVID-19 pandemic. At this time last year, about 6.5 million cases and almost 400,000 deaths were reported around the world. Those numbers have ballooned to more than 170 million reported cases and more than 3.6 million deaths today. The pandemic has robbed millions of jobs and even basic food and economic security. And the health and economic impacts have disproportionately hit those who are most vulnerable here in the United States and around the globe. But today, more than 1.7 billion doses of vaccine have been administered, and more than 5% of the world's population is fully vaccinated. That's not nearly enough, especially with the tremendous unmet needs in low and middle income countries. But what a stunning and uplifting comparison to last year when COVID vaccines didn't exist. 2 weeks ago marked 1 year since George Floyd's murder. The anniversary was a time to reflect on our progress in the fight for racial justice, as well as the very long road ahead to achieve equality. We're beginning to make progress within the department, across UW, and in the larger community. There's new energy and commitment to work to address the long history of structural racism in this country and colonialism in global health. This will not be easy and it will not be quick, but it's foundational to our principles and to success in global health. And we have to make sure that we stay the course and sustain our commitment and our progress. And in the last 4.5 months, we've seen remarkable shifts in national leadership, not only with respect to science, using science to guide policy related to the pandemic, but also with respect to other cornerstones of global health, including rejoining the World Health Organization and convening global leaders to work together on climate change. So and I hope many of us, go into this celebration with renewed hope, renewed determination, and renewed commitment to realizing the vision of a world in which health and well-being really are accessible to all. And that in itself is something to celebrate. But there are two things that are really at the center of this celebration. First, you, our 54 graduates from our Masters of Public Health and doctoral programs, along with our medical student graduates from the Global Health Pathway. You and all that you've accomplished. You're about to join a network of over 2,000 global health alumni since the department's first graduation in 2008, including more than 460 graduates of our degree programs. Alumni who came to UW from more than 20 nations and are now working in more than 25 countries on 5 continents to improve health and eliminate health disparities around the world. If you think about it, not everyone has a chance to enter a profession focusing on these kinds of goals, on changing the world, making it a better place. I think we're incredibly lucky. And second, we're also here to celebrate and thank all of your staunch supporters, parents, partners, children, friends, many of whom are here today, at least virtually, and without whom many of you might well not be here today. A graduation is a landmark event because it marks the beginning of a new phase of life and new adventures. Each of you who's graduating today will start a new phase of your life as a global health professional with new roles, responsibilities, and opportunities. Society will look at you differently and expect more of you. Your lives and the lives of those closest to you are about to be transformed. And I hope that many of you will, in turn, help transform the world. This is a truly remarkable time to graduate and step into this new role. The last year has been a time of great pain, need, and turmoil, but it's also been a time of great learning, innovation, and collaboration. Because of that, this is a time when people, communities, and nations are crying out for change. This is a time that's filled with incredible opportunity for real reimagining and redesigning, the kind of profound system changes that are needed to ensure health and well-being for all. Social and economic equity, regardless of skin color, gender, sexual identity, religion, or country of origin. Environmental sustainability, and a truly democratic process in which all US citizens can vote, and in which we have freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and peaceful assembly. The kind of changes that you are trained to help catalyze and deliver. I like the way Barack Obama put it when he said, "This pandemic has shaken up the status quo and laid bare a lot of our country's deep-seated problems, from massive economic inequality to ongoing racial disparities to a lack of basic health care for people who need it. It's woken a lot of young people up to the fact that the old ways of doing things just won't work." I think his words ring true for the impact of the pandemic around the world, and especially for young people. In fact, there's a growing consensus that we need radically new strategies and systems that align a whole lot better with basic values of truth, integrity, equity, and social justice, and that are grounded in both science and empathy. And we need them urgently. More and more people, especially young people, are recognizing what's at stake. They're speaking out, reaching out, moving to action. And that's the third thing to celebrate. So that brings me back to the first thing to celebrate, which is you. For all of us in, and now you entering global health, let me be very clear that there's never been a time of greater urgency and need for your knowledge, skills, passion, and commitment. As graduates, each of you has a special responsibility as well as opportunity to use that knowledge, those skills, your passion and commitment to indeed help transform the world. So I hope you understand that now more than ever, this is the time to be in global health. And I hope you all are ready to celebrate as we celebrate you.
Good afternoon and welcome to everyone. It's so great to have you all here with us. My name is Judd Walson. I'm the Vice Chair of the Department of Global Health here at the University of Washington. The Department of Global Health takes great pride in the outstanding work of our students, and we would like to recognize our award recipients today. The University of Washington Husky 100 program recognizes 100 UW undergraduate and graduate students for their passion, leadership, and commitment to making a difference, both here on campus and in their communities. This year, we are so proud to acknowledge the following global health students for this honor, selected from more than 1,700 nominations across the 3 UW campuses. Global Health MPH students Sumaya Muhammad, Naomi Nkinsi, Juan Sebastian Osorio Valencia, and Evelyn Faye Tagana Romano. And Global Health Metrics and Implementation Science PhD students Dorothy Thomas and Beatrice Wamuti. In the School of Public Health, each department and interdisciplinary program has the opportunity to select one outstanding student at the master's level and one outstanding student at the doctoral level. These outstanding students excel in scholarship and have demonstrated a commitment to the field of public health. This year, the department's awardee for outstanding student at the master's level is Saida Mohammed Tukri. In addition to her MPH degree, Saida is earning a certificate in international humanitarian response. Her work focuses on mental health and forced migration. Her thesis has examined whether social connectedness can serve as a moderator between post-migration stressors and depression in a sample of displaced persons. For her practicum, she prepared strategic seasonal injury prevention messages and conducted an evidence-based literature review to support the Harborview Injury Prevention and Research Center mission. She's also been involved in a range of local programs and with research with the World Health Organization, the Yemen Relief Reconstruction Foundation, and Powerful Voices. Congratulations, Saida. This year, the department's outstanding student at the doctoral level is Veronica Dave. Veronica was born in San Diego, California, where she completed her BS in molecular environmental biology and her MS in environmental health sciences at the University of California, Berkeley, where she examined molecular biomarkers of environmental chemical exposure and obesity among Mexican-American mothers and children in the laboratory of Nina Holland. Veronica then joined the laboratories of Martin Prillick and Jennifer Lund at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in order to pursue her PhD here at the University of Washington. During her PhD, she studied the role of T cells in protecting the female genital tract against infections of global health importance. Every year, the School of Public Health also recognizes its top master's and doctoral student with the Gilbert S. Oman Award for Academic Excellence. This year, Global Health student Elizabeth Arungu was selected as the doctoral recipient of this award. Dr. Elizabeth Arungu joined the PhD program in 2019 and defended her dissertation this May. She has demonstrated great productivity in the public health setting. As country director for the Partners Scale Up project, she contributed immensely to the Kenya Pre-Exposure Prophylaxis Technical Working Group activities that guided PrEP implementation in public health facilities countrywide. She's published 26 peer-reviewed publications in high-impact journals, 6 of which were first author publications. She has extensive experience in HIV prevention clinical trials and has been a key collaborator on several of these important HIV studies. Join us in welcoming and congratulating all of our awards recipients. Thank you again.
Hello, my name is Jason Bestie, and I am an infectious disease physician at UW and have the honor to serve as the Global Health Pathway Director for the UW School of Medicine. On behalf of the Department of Global Health, Darren Wade, and myself, I'd like to congratulate the 21 medical students who have completed the Global Health Pathway, especially given the challenging academic climate that COVID-19 has created. The Global Health Pathway is designed for medical students interested in careers dedicated to improving global health disparities, and our graduates from this program have done remarkable work in order to complete this pathway during the COVID-19 pandemic. Through coursework, service projects, clinical work with the underserved populations, and for some students who were able to have an international experience prior to COVID, the students in the Global Health Pathway have developed an awareness of the key diseases that affect global health. They understand the historical, economic, political, environmental, and social factors responsible for global health disparities, and have had the opportunities to learn and provide compassionate and effective medical care to patients with different cultural frameworks and in areas with limited resources. Lastly, these students have developed a multidisciplinary and multicultural perspective towards global health and have had opportunities to collaborate effectively with professionals from diverse academic disciplines and different cultural backgrounds. We wish you all the very best as you enter your next phase of clinical training and residency, and cannot wait to see how you use your skills, your passions, and knowledge to pursue global health to make the world a more just and equitable place for all, especially those who are the most vulnerable and sick. Each year, the Department of Global Health recognizes the graduating medical student who is a leader in the global health community and has demonstrated a commitment to the field of global health during their time at the University of Washington. This year, we are pleased to announce this year's recipient of the award is Alyssa Hummel. Alyssa is an MD MPH graduate who enjoyed immersing herself in the Seattle community. She has volunteered with multiple student-run clinics where she offered healthcare screenings to Latinx immigrants and homeless individuals. She participated in the Global Health Immersion Program, where she collaborated with Peruvian trans women to create an interactive presentation regarding hormone therapy and HIV education with accompanying brochures. In addition to completing the Global Health Pathway, Alyssa also obtained the MPH in Global Health. She served on the Department of Global Health's Curriculum Committee and assembled COVID-19 test kits for the Greater Seattle Coronavirus Network. Alyssa will be continuing her global health advocacy work at the University of Arizona Phoenix Internal Medicine Residency Program starting in July. Congratulations, Alyssa, and congratulations to all of our graduates today.
Thank you, Jason, and also thanks to Darren Wade, who provides our staff support to the Global Health Pathway and other School of Medicine programs. Our department has several other programs that I'd like to briefly acknowledge. The names of students completing these programs are listed in your graduation booklet. First, graduate certificates. A graduate certificate program is a linked series of courses designed to enhance the education of our graduate and professional students by providing a concentrated, cohesive program of study outside the student's primary focus. The department now houses 3 such programs: the Certificate in Global Health, for which I serve as faculty lead and is staffed by Nora Yusufa; the Certificate in Global Health of Women, Adolescents, and Children, or Global Watch, with the faculty lead being Angeli Wagner and staff support provided by Stephanie Elin Cho. The Certificate in Global Injury and Violence Prevention's faculty lead is Charlie Mock, and staff support is provided by Nora Yusufa. Second, our undergraduate programs. The Public Health Global Health major has a new global health option that recognizes students who complete coursework focused on global health specifically. This year, we are thrilled to acknowledge the program's first 6 graduates and look forward to following their accomplishments in future years. We also offer a global health minor for undergraduate students from all majors and disciplines across the campus. This year, we are graduating students with majors as diverse as anthropology and human-centered design and engineering, who have completed the global health minor. This program is directed by Todd Fobian and staffed by Nora Yusufa. This concludes our acknowledgement of our certificate and undergraduate program graduates. Congratulations to these students for their hard work and accomplishments. Now we'll move to degree programs. It is my pleasure to transition here and present our degree program graduates. Our department is home to several graduate degree programs, including a Master of Public Health, a Master of Science in Pathobiology, and 2 PhD programs, our interdisciplinary program in Pathobiology and a program in Global Health Metrics and Implementation Science. This year, we are deeply honored to celebrate the accomplishments of 48 MPH, 1 MS, and 5 doctoral students, one of whom is a Pathobiology program graduate, and 4 PhD students who completed the Global Health PhD program in Implementation Science and Health Metrics. I'll note here that we have had 16 Global Health PhD graduates since that program started in 2012. Demonstrating the reach of these programs, our 2021 graduates have joined us from all over the world, from Afghanistan, Colombia, Indonesia, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Sudan, Tunisia, and Uganda, and of course from all parts of the United States. These graduates have spent years dedicating their time and efforts to the 3 pillars that are the foundation of our department: academics, research, and service. I'm very proud of the work they have done and the dedication that has seen them through their respective programs during the COVID pandemic. I'm also proud and grateful for the hard work and dedication of the faculty and staff who have advised, mentored, and learned along with our graduates, supporting them in their journeys. I'd like to give a special thanks to the faculty directors of our degree programs for their commitment and leadership. For the MPH program, Steve Gloyd is the director, Deepa Rao, the associate director, Jason Bestie, the director of the MD-MPH track, Bernardo Hernandez Prado, who directs the Health Metrics and Evaluation track of the MPH program. And for our doctoral programs, Leanne Campbell is the director of the Interdisciplinary Program in Pathobiology. Joseph Dielman and Kenneth Scher are co-directors for the PhD in Global Health Metrics and Implementation Science. We are very proud to announce that Dr. Campbell received the university's Marshall Landau Distinguished Graduate Mentor Award this year. This award recognizes outstanding mentoring of graduate students by faculty. Congratulations, Leanne, on this well-deserved honor. I'm now pass the baton to Dr. Steve Gloyd to present our MPH program graduates.
Greetings. And huge congratulations to all of you 2021 graduates. This is a big milestone and we're really proud of you. Before anything else, I want to give a big thanks to some key people who made your success possible. Your MPH leadership faculty and staff, Deepa Rao, who's Associate Director, Bernardo Hernandez Prado, who is the Director of the IHME track, Awa Kone, who is the MPH workshop co-instructor, Julie Burnett, MPH manager, the MPH advisors, Andreas Kiodara, Nora Yusufa, and Sarah Dillard. A big thanks to you all. You grads know how much they've had your backs throughout this whole process. And also a big thanks to your advising faculty, your practicum mentors, and especially your thesis committees. And finally, we want to thank all of the students and the friends and the families who have helped you along the way. It's a really big deal graduating with an MPH from the University of Washington. We think of our MPH course as quite rigorous and unique, focused on building public health skills based on a lens of social justice and equity, and understanding the underlying causes of injustice, and understanding how our own power and privilege enter into that dynamic. Our MPH program is hard to get in and tough to get through. Your class has had an especially challenging journey during these COVID times, and you've been incredibly flexible and strong to make it through. You hardly begun when COVID hit and turned everything on its head. And you not only took it in stride, but you used your creativity to do really wonderful work, whether in your amazing theses, for your presentations of your theses, your practicums and those presentations, your courses, or frankly, in changing the world. So you should be proud. So now what? We know that the MPH will clearly open many doors and you'll get jobs. But when you get the job, what are you going to do? You're facing a world with unconscionable inequality, with persistent racism, white supremacy, and widespread oppression. Your MPH will give you more power and privilege, but how will you use it to make the world a better and more just place? And what risks will you take to work for justice? The challenges and contradictions are enormous. The root issues creating the increasing inequality that we see around the world today are pretty entrenched. And things aren't getting any easier now, particularly with the COVID-related apartheid fostered by the resistance of big pharma to sharing patents on COVID vaccines and medicines. And as the World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom had said recently, as rich countries and companies speak the language of equitable access, the world risks a catastrophic moral failure. Even before you enrolled in our MPH program, you all knew about epidemics like COVID-19, and we're recognizing once again that the burden of the epidemic falls on the poor, the disenfranchised, and people of color, and that many of our responses are self-serving. We already knew about the structural violence imposed on the poor and dispossessed, and that persists today. We knew about the racism and the police brutality imposed on people of color in the United States and, in fact, around the world. And the massive global theft, from either tax evasion to phantom aid to any variety of theft, promoted and enabled by people and institutions of the global north that show no signs of abating. And we've been outraged by it. But we also know that we can be complicit in these outrages. As privileged do-gooders, the institutions within which we work are often part of the current systematic oppression. So knowing that, what do we do with our skills, with our knowledge, our networks, and our social conscience? How do we practice solidarity with people and organizations that represent people who are oppressed by our old institutions? What do you do when your organization works with a colonial mindset, or when you see subtle or not so subtle racism or classism? How are you going to challenge the romanticism of the global health saviors? How are you going to tackle the underlying problems that come about from austerity programs or underpaid or demotivated workforce, or the crumbling health infrastructure and the lack of basic needs that are ignored by our high-tech solutions? How will you follow your moral compass? How do you become part of the solution and not part of the problem? How do you avoid joining what's been called the kumbaya choir of white privilege? We can't afford to be complacent or complicit or silent. Martin Luther King reminded us that, quote, the silence of the good people is worse than the brutality of the bad people. If you're choosing silence, you're choosing the side of the oppressor. The actor Melody Cooper said last year that we all have a chance to step off the sidelines, to speak up, and to take action when we can, to fight together wisely, knowing that our passions and our actions can and will be used against us, but we must not stop, end quote. For sure, it's not going to be easy, and it will often be messy, but it must be done, and we need to muster our own personal courage to do it. I have faith in you. I believe you're all up to the task, and you've been, through the inspiration you've given us, the way you've challenged us, and we know that you're ready to face these big challenges. And on a personal note, I've noticed over the past year, even with the limitations of COVID, that we've really become more of a family of global health activists, a family that supports and inspires one another, and a family that shares difficult ideas and supports one another when we're vulnerable. So let's nurture that family, and together, let's keep the struggle for global justice. So keep in touch and let us know what you're doing. Speaking of students who have modeled the struggle for global health justice, I'd like to introduce Saida Mahmoud Tukri, who received the MPH Outstanding Student Award. who will share some of her thoughts and insights of her experiences in the program. Thank you.
Greetings, fellow graduating classmates, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, family, and friends. I am deeply honored to be addressing my cohort I've had the privilege to share space with, even if it was just for a brief moment before we transitioned to remote classes. To say we've had an eventful past 2 years is an understatement. No one could have predicted the tough times we'd all endure. However, these tough times were not foreign to many of us. COVID-19 illuminated just some of the deep social issues that have been kept in a crevice away from public discourse. This pandemic has unevenly impacted Black people, Indigenous communities, unhoused people, communities living in poverty, and disabled people. We witnessed displays of mutual aid and apathy. The lives of the most vulnerable became dependent on the care of strangers, some of whom were unwilling to give that care. It is no doubt that racism is both a public health and social issue. As we transition into new roles and spaces, we must continue caring for others. Otherwise, we'll never truly live healthy lives. In global health, we use the social determinants of health as a conceptual framework to help guide us towards a more equitable and healthier world. Injustices and inequities harm and deteriorate our health. As public health practitioners, it is our role and duty to help dismantle and interrogate systems of oppression that have deeply impacted our work. It is also our responsibility to amplify the voices of groups fighting for liberation all over the world and to call out all forms of injustice. Our health is indicative of the health of other lives. That is why we must be deeply committed to this cause if we aim to see positive changes in our world. Today is a day to be joyous, and I want you all to truly appreciate the work you put into earning a master's in public health from the University of Washington. But we must not forget that earning a degree is no equalizer. Due to anti-Blackness, some of your peers will struggle in the job market, and others will encounter pushback within the ivory tower. It is our job to consistently question what we've perceived as the norm, and to shift from conversations and workshops centered on short-term solutions to participating in collective action centered around decolonization. I want to congratulate you all for remaining resolute despite the onslaught of challenges we had to navigate. I've learned so much from you all and deeply appreciate the camaraderie and beautiful community we've cultivated. As we begin to go our separate ways, we'll forever be connected by the deep bond formed in the last 2 years and will always belong to the class of 2021. On a personal note, I want to thank Allah for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon me. I also want to acknowledge my Hoyo and Abo for their sacrifices to grant my siblings and I a decent life. Although my parents and my journeys have been different, they both require resilience, passion, and dreaming. Their journey marked by war and mine by racism and structural violence. And although the fulfillment of all their dreams have been marked by injustice, they never stopped believing in my ability to fulfill what they've lost. This degree is yours just as much as it is mine. I want to congratulate you all again on this extraordinary achievement.
For the general track, Gifty Abo, Casey Adams, Miranda Benson, Nazia Karima, Shorkeen Chow, Jennifer Emmett, Isabella Fabens, Anita Hanifa, Shadi Enrici, Alyssa Hummel, Farah Khan, Chuck Kopp, Saida Mahmoud Tukri, Barbara Wanjiku Mambo, Asad Naveed, Nancy Gumbao, Gift Nwane, Umutoni Linda Zambambwita, Sheila Ojeaburu, Linda Myra Oluch, Jocelyn Powelson, Lillian Pruher, Evelyn Faye Tagana Romano, Martha Nunya Schrader, Julie Skeen, Sarah Smith, Stelio Tembe, Nicholas Boro Tuo, Jewel Towns. And for the Leadership, Policy, and Management track, Marwa Abdallah, Shagofa Amini, Megan Bernatchez, Tikala Itaye, Eileen Kazura, Juan Sebastian Osorio Valencia, Ingrid Subcook, Leah Wood. Congratulations, graduates. Now let's hear from the graduates' family and friends.
Congratulations, Isabella. We love you.
Isabella, a great job in a difficult year. Congratulations. Isabella, you make this world a better place. I love you.
Congratulations, Isabella.
Congratulations, honey.
Congratulations, Barbara, on your great achievement. It is always a pride for the mother to witness her daughter's success. We wish you every bit of God's blessings, and we are looking forward to seeing you when you come back.
Barbara, I've missed you. I long to see you sooner than later. Well, congratulations on your graduation.
Congratulations, Barbara.
Congratulations, Auntie Barbara.
Congratulations, Joe.
I just want to say congratulations. Can't wait to see you. Bye. Love you.
Felicitaciones, te amamos.
¡Felicitaciones, tío Sebas!
Good afternoon. My name is Bernardo Hernandez Prado, and I'm the director of the Health Metrics and Evaluation track of the MPH program. We have a big challenge in global health. Something we have learned over this COVID-19 pandemic is that it's not always that easy to quantify the size of a problem and the effect of the cost of actions to address a health problem. We see numbers, figures about deaths, about infections, but something that we have learned over this year, well, we knew maybe before, but now a lot of people know, is that it's not that easy to have accurate figures. And well, this is actually what the Health Metrics and Evaluation track of the MPH in global health is about. We aim to provide competencies to our students to measure health conditions and to assess health interventions to see what works and what does not work. The MPH program in Health Metrics and Evaluation, it's a huge effort that involves many people. So I would like to mention some key ones to express our gratitude in the performance of this program, maybe starting by the MPH leadership, Steve Gloyd, Deepa Rao, Julie Brunet, and Andreas Kyodara. I cannot be thankful enough for Sarah Dillard for the coordination of health metrics and evaluation track. She's always behind the students, always addressing their needs. Really, she's keeping all the balls in the air, and we really appreciate her help. There is a substantial contribution also from the education and training team from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation and the Department of Health Metric Sciences, led by Emanuela Gakidu, with Jackie Monroe, Mina O'Brien, Joe Dillman, Laura Dwyer, and Haidong Wang. And well, nothing on this program would be possible without the contribution of the faculty in our departments. They help us mentoring students, teaching, directing theses. It's a big effort, and we are really happy with all their contribution, allowing their students to participate and collaborate in their research projects. But most of all, I would like to express my gratitude to students. Really, we have a highly competent and committed group that I can guess have a big support from their families. I can tell from what I hear from them. They combine their activities as students with many other activities, with work, with volunteering, many other things around. And over this time, they are a good example of resilience of difficult times. And they have teach us a lesson on how to transform an adverse situation like this pandemic and everything that it has involved into an opportunity. So really, we learn from them every day. It's not an exaggeration to say that every time I meet with a student, I end up asking myself, who is mentoring who? I learn a lot from them every day. And well, so really, I would like to express my gratitude for everybody collaborating to this program. It may be better to hear directly from some of the students about their experience in the program. So let me introduce Brittany Sheena, one of the students on the MPH and Health Metrics Evaluation track, who's going to tell us a few words about her experience. Thank you, everybody.
Hello. It is an honor to speak as a representative of the Health Metrics and Evaluation students of the class of 2021. Thank you to all of our mentors, friends, and family who have helped us arrive at graduation. This moment truly could not have happened without your support and continued guidance. As Health Metrics and Evaluation students, we work to measure population health, drivers of health, and health systems performance by analyzing empirical evidence and producing high-quality information. During the pandemic, our training allowed us to jump into action to support the local, national, and global community through data-driven efforts. While much was unknown about the coronavirus, I was inspired how you applied your knowledge from other health issues, your statistical expertise, and your brilliant minds to describe and project the pandemic. All this time, we remained committed to solving more established health concerns, like cardiovascular diseases and micronutrient deficiencies. As students, we developed the skills to explore data, innovate novel methods, and create new findings. And while scientific evidence has been central to our work, we learned that good science is not always good enough. This past year in particular demonstrated the difficulty explaining predictions that are constantly changing and the importance of explaining why to increase trust in the numbers. Our challenge is to pair scientific evidence with leadership, communication, and empathy. I have seen the ways that you communicated our complicated findings to be accessible and actionable for all. With a deluge of complicated and often conflicting knowledge from the media and health agencies, we took on additional roles as educators. We taught our friends, family, and peers about statistical modeling and epidemiology, concepts that we were well aware of before public health moved into the more public and critical eye. We engaged in conversations about numbers and data sets, but I was always inspired that you remembered there are people behind the numbers, each with unique stories. Our focus on population health reveals critical insights, but we must always remember the human who is impacted by disease, by inefficient health systems, or by structural inequities. This year, we have repeatedly heard of its unprecedented nature, from a global pandemic to America's long overdue reckoning of racial injustice. For those who have continued to work in conditions of personal loss emotional fatigue, and general helplessness, I want to express my sincerest gratitude. We should not have to be so strong or so resilient, but your tenacity shows your passion for public health and health progress for whole populations and for the individual. I hope that we can take action together through research, advocacy, and leadership to eliminate the circumstances that have required such strength in the face of adversity, and we can collectively work together towards a more healthy and equitable future. I am confident that we will rise to this challenge. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Let me present the graduates from the MPH Health Metrics and Evaluation track for the 2021 class. Matthew Arendts, Emmanuel Ajebali, Sophia Emmons Bell, Natalie Gales, Haley Lesinski, Aislinn Orji, Shuida Sanapuri, Brittany Sheena, Sarah Solberg, Catherine Welgan. Please join me congratulating all the graduates from this cohort. Best wishes in future adventures, and really appreciate all your work in this program.
The Pathobiology program is a laboratory-based basic science program with an emphasis on disease mechanisms and a focus on host pathogen interactions. In addition to challenging coursework, our students develop a novel research hypothesis that they must rigorously test and either prove or disprove through laboratory experiments. Via basic research, the goal is to identify potential targets for intervention in or prevention of disease. Our training is designed to prepare our future scientific leaders with the ability to respond to disease challenges that impact global health. The pandemic has underscored the global critical need for scientists with this skill set to rapidly develop accurate diagnostic methods and safe and effective therapeutics and vaccines. We believe that our outstanding graduates will be at the forefront in the future. Graduates, we celebrate your dedication, perseverance, passion for global health, scholarly achievements, and unlimited potential. It is with great pride that I introduce Veronica DeVay. Veronica excelled in all aspects of our program. In addition to her academic excellence, Veronica made major scientific contributions that will inform vaccine design through her research work focused on specific T-cell responses that confer protective immunity to herpes simplex virus 2 infection. After successfully defending her doctoral thesis in autumn quarter, Veronica is now a postdoctoral fellow at the Washington University School of Medicine, where she is gaining experience in neuroimmunology and studying the astrocyte response to West Nile virus infection.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for attending this virtual graduation ceremony. Leanne, thank you so much for the introduction, as well as all the support and mentorship over the last 5 years. Looking back, I think it's fair to say that completing a degree in the Global Health Department between the years 2015 and 2020 brought a fair share of unique experiences, all of them highly pertinent to our chosen field of study. When I was completing my first year laboratory rotations, Zika virus was revealed to cause birth abnormalities, and we saw research pivot to study this new infectious agent. Shortly after, as I was beginning my dissertation research, we elected a demagogue to the presidency and laid bare serious shortcomings in equity in our nation. As I prepared for my thesis defense, we met with pandemic coronavirus and the hardship and isolation it brought over the last year. We continued to face the ongoing public health crisis of racism. Our response to the COVID-19 pandemic revealed vast inequities in access to health and even in access to the ability to stay home and stay healthy. All this time, I studied immunity to herpes simplex virus,
which at times seemed unimportant compared to the substantial pathogen and non-pathogen associated health issues we were facing. As I continue towards a career in infectious disease research, I'm grateful I had this opportunity to consider daily how my work connects to critical and current issues. I would like to share 3 lessons that I learned from this experience. 1, some science moves slowly, but we never know what new pandemics will strike in the future and how we might benefit from the knowledge we generated working in each of our small domains. 2, dedicating my work hours to lab-based health research isn't sufficient. I also need to advocate for equal access to health outside of work. I need to join in marches, fundraise for nonprofits, contact my elected officials, and volunteer my time to help where I can and to learn what type of help is needed. And finally, 3, I should always remember that any career success I achieve involved a lot of luck and help and privilege, and I need to do my best to extend this help to others whenever I can. Thank you.
Our graduates are MS degree, Lizette Carrasco. The PhD degree, Veronica Anjali DeVay. Co-chairs, Dr. Jennifer Lund and Martin Prillick. Her dissertation title, T-cell immunity in the female genital tract. Congratulations to all graduates.
Congratulations, we love you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenneth Scher, and together with Joe Dealman, I co-lead our Doctor in Philosophy program in Metrics and Implementation Science. I'm delighted to be here with you today as we recognize the achievements of our outstanding class of 2021. This class of graduates have succeeded in completing one of the hardest tasks in life, their final dissertation project, and their achievements merit extra recognition considering the unprecedented times we are in. To give a sense of what these outstanding graduates have achieved while in our training program, they first excelled in 2 years of rigorous coursework, building and layering skills across a broad range of methodologic areas, including advanced statistics, complex study designs, and mixed methods appraisal. Core competencies were then assessed over a 4-day preliminary exam so challenging that we now give students 6 days for this exam. Subsequently, students designed an NIH-style dissertation proposal describing procedures for the 3 papers of their dissertation, and their design was then elaborated upon, refined, and challenged through a 2-week written exam, culminating in an oral defense of their proposal. And then the hard work began, the dissertation research, also known as the dissertation chasm, a self-directed, often lonely process culminating in 3 publishable manuscripts, an oral final exam, and now celebration of their successes. Graduates, your journey has been remarkable. You succeeded with aplomb, providing a model and encouragement for your fellow students. We offer to you our heartfelt congratulations and best wishes on the next challenges you face in life. Your future is bright, and we are confident that as you go forward, you will work to apply your skills to address the problems that we face on a global scale. Whether it's addressing inequities on a global or local scale, taming the complexity of delivery systems to improve the implementation and scale-up of evidence-based interventions, developing and applying novel approaches to quantify and measure health improvements, and teaching your knowledge and skills to others, you have everything you need. Now go forward with confidence. And we do have one last ask for you all. As you go forth, do not be strangers. Drop us a line every once in a while. And know that we're always looking for guest speakers and opportunities for our students. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce this year's class speaker, who was selected as our outstanding student and Omen awardee, Elizabeth Arungu. Elizabeth?
So thank you, Kenny, for that introduction. And today I'm really honored to speak to faculty, family, friends, and the graduating class on this very important day. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I'd like to thank the staff and faculty at the Department of Global Health for their commitment and dedication to our learning. I'd also like to thank our families and friends for the immense support that they have offered over the years while we have been here. I'd like to share a story. Once upon a time, while walking along a beach, an old man saw a young boy picking up starfish one by one and tossing each one gently back into the water. The old man came closer to the boy and called out, "Good morning. May I ask what it is that you're doing?" The young boy paused, looked up, and replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean." The old man smiled and said, "I must ask then, why are you throwing starfish back into the ocean?" To this, the young boy replied, "The sun is up and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them in, they will die." Upon hearing this, the old man commented, "But young boy, do you not realize that there are miles and miles of beach and there are starfish all along every mile? You can't possibly make a difference." The young boy listened politely. Then he bent down, picked up another starfish, threw it back into the ocean, past the breaking waves, and said, "It made a difference for that one." So today, graduates, we have achieved a great milestone and we have great reason to stop and celebrate. But we cannot stop for long because perhaps there will never be a more important time in which the global health skills we have acquired will be required. So I encourage us to go out and make a difference. We're not too insignificant or too unimportant to make a difference to the lives of our families, communities, and countries. And with that, I say congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. Thank you.
Samantha Dolan, whose chair is Nancy Puttkamer, and the title of her dissertation is Transitioning from Paper to Digital Vaccination Records. Elizabeth Arungu, whose chair is Jared Baton, and title of her dissertation is Evaluation of Oral Pre-Exposure Prophylaxis PrEP Implementation in Public HIV Care Clinics in Kenya. Stephanie Roche, whose chair is Jared Baton. Title of her dissertation is Scaling Up and Out, Exploring Options for Differentiated Delivery of Pre-Exposure Prophylaxis in Kenya. And Beatrice Wamuti, whose chair is Carrie Farquhar, and title of her dissertation is Scale Up of Assisted Partner Services in Kenya, Assessing Linkage to Care, Integration, and Costs. Congratulations, graduates. Now let's hear from the graduates' family and friends.
Many thanks to all of our academic program faculty leaders and our wonderful graduates who spoke. Saida, Brittany, Veronica, and Elizabeth. I want to close by doing two things. First, I want to thank the all-star team of incredibly dedicated staff who coordinated this lovely graduation with special creativity and ingenuity, and who include Julie Beshta, Julie Brunette, Sarah Dillard, Alita Elliott, Amy Goldstein, Kirsten Green, Erica Johnson, Chris Joss, Andreas Kiadara, Ernie Leffler, Moira Majaha, Basha Otto, Darren Wade, and Noura Nusufa. And second, I want to ask everyone to raise the glass, which I hope you all have handy, to toast all of our graduates. As you leave UW, I wish you four things. Number one, the unparalleled joy and privilege of using what you've learned, your knowledge and skills, to make this world a healthier, more equitable, more inclusive, and more sustainable place. Number two, the delight and exhilaration of continuous learning and discovery, both with UW mentors and friends, and with new mentors and friends as you carve your professional paths. Number three, the unabashed, raw fun of amazing adventures with remarkable colleagues and friends along that path. And number 4, and perhaps most important, the wisdom to find the right balance between your professional and personal lives, between time for your family, friends, and yourself, and time for changing the world. Our thanks to each of you and your families for the honor and pleasure of working with you during your time here at the University of Washington. Congratulations, and please continue to be part of our Department of Global Health community, now as alumni and alumni families. Cheers!